Well, hello there, this is Shane from Shane's Books and Review, and I hope that you're having a great day. And by the way, thank you for coming by. If by chance it looks like I'm on fire, it's because I've been doing so much work. Zach's going to kill me because I asked him to take all the ums out because I'm so tired. And I know there's going to be a lot. So Zach, I'm sorry. And we're going to be talking about Dr. Sleep by Stephen King. Now, in the grand scheme of things, I had this really big idea in my head that I was going to read The Shining, and then I was going to read Dr. Sleep, and then I was going to watch The Shining and watch Dr. Sleep, and then compare them. And really, there's not a whole lot of comparing in between The Shining and Dr. Sleep. Yes, we have some characters that are the same in it, and there are a lot of tie-ins, of course, because it is a continuation of the book. Let me give you a set of references for the book before, I know it sounds weird saying it that way, but before we actually get into it. So, narration was by Will Patton, and some of it was just absolutely horrible. And that's really bad because I like Will Patton, and I like a lot of the things I've heard him narrate, but in this, there's just some things that it broke the book whenever it was done, and I'm kind of thinking it might not have been his idea. Like whenever things got really excited and it goes into almost like a comedic rah 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 rah, whenever it's a very serious, very dramatic moment, and this happens multiple times. It's not like it was a one-off. Too far with the yeah, didn't much care for that. It's okay because it's not like I really much cared for the book anyway. So Danny, Doc, same person. He was known as Danny and Doc whenever it was in The Shining. And this book, he's known as Dan. Dan is a almost functioning alcoholic, and by the end of the book, he is a functioning alcoholic that's in AA. I know that after reading the author's note at the end of the book, that Stephen King has spent a lot of time over the years, according to him, thinking about what that character would be doing, or what if he had Jack as a recovering alcoholic instead of a alcoholic that was failing, a functional alcoholic, if you will, that is attending AA meetings and trying to get past being at the bottom and working their way back up through the steps. And it's almost like he used Danny to write the story for Jack in the way that he wanted that story to go the first time, but it didn't because he was, I don't know. I don't know. As far as the premises of the story goes, if I had read this, the characters' names were completely different, and it wasn't a tie-in to The Shining, with the exception of they share that one thing being The Shining. This would have probably been a really good read for me, but I remembered that young boy. I remembered the way that he was connected up with Dick and the things that had happened at the hotel and with his father. I really think that he shouldn't have done it in the way that he did. There was another thing that happened where it was almost a complete screw you moment of whatever. And I don't know if it was some verbal diarrhea that needed to be put into the book that would have made it make more sense, or if maybe that should have been left out altogether, and maybe instead of the ghost of this person, it being the ghost of this person that he waves to. That would have made more sense if it was somebody else, not the figure that was there. There was other parts of the story where, even though I didn't care for it, that doesn't mean that you're not going to like it. And I think that a lot of people actually would enjoy this book. I guess it was just myself, I felt slighted. So if we get into the feelings of the books, the things that I felt was, I was annoyed. I felt slighted. I felt like the characters weren't being true to themselves in a lot of the situations that they were in. And I do know that, Stephen King has had his own issues and his own demons, so I applaud him for doing what he's done. And I don't want to be one of those that says things like, Metallica used to be such a great band until they all went to rehab and they got off of alcohol and drugs because, that really just screwed up the band. I don't want to be that person, but there was a definitive thing. I respect the man for what he's done in his life to get away from all that kind of stuff and get himself where he's squared away. But I do miss the way that he used to write. Now, Dick really isn't in this book, but he is. That'll make sense if you read it. But for the most part, it's more of a continuation of the family lineage. So there's an opening that there could be a continuation. If there was another book that had come out that was in this, I don't know if I would read it. And it's all because of the difference in tonality whenever it comes to the way that he portrays things. There was this suspenseful mastery in the older books, like in The Shining. But in this one, there really wasn't anything like that whenever it came to the suspense portion. It was all in the moment of things as it was happening. There wasn't like a grand plan or a grand reveal of X, Y, and then Z. It was so very cut and dry from end to beginning that it was very predictable. I mean, I could really see what was going to happen before it actually happened. So, quick overview of the book, if you want to get it all summed up into one little kit and caboodle so that you know what to expect if you pick it up. I have tried to do this without spoilers, or too many. I didn't want to give any of the major details away or anything like that. It's basically a story about people that are in tune with being able to read things from other people, and there is a society that's trying to catch those people and, well, for lack of a better word, suck out their essence. That was another gripe that I had. But it had to do with family throughout the entire book. Now, that was the one thing I did like, was the long story. And in this audiobook format, it really was long. Whenever it came to Jack, to Danny, and then some of the backstory about Jack and Jack's father, and I think even Jack's father's father. It might be one step too back. Also, how this family and this family were intertwined, and so on and so forth. So that was a thing that I really did enjoy. I really wish he had done something with the cat, but I kind of figured that was a nod to another cat in another story, so we'll leave that be. So as far as the next book goes, that's going to be kind of up to Zach. I'm not sure which one he's going to put up next. As far as user callouts go, Lynette, thank you so very much. There's always been such a great communication from you, and I love that. So I wanted to personally say thank you because you clued me in that Peter Clines has a couple more books in the Fold universe that's getting ready to come out, which is awesome. I really enjoy those books. Now, granted, I know that you and myself didn't much care for the last one because it had the intermingling of the zombie and the Fold universe, and it didn't come off proper, I don't think. Thank you so very much for watching. If you're still watching and you've made it all this way, you are one of the unsung heroes of my life. Thank you so much for getting to the end. It means a lot to me. Like, share, subscribe. This is Shane from Shane's Books and Review, and YouTube wants you to pick one of these two videos over here. So whichever one you pick, I hope it's a good one. And if it's one of ours, I will see you in the next video. I hope you have a wonderful week.